Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Today I thought we'd take a look at the Saesee Tiin figure released in 2002 from the Saga Collection. So let's head to that table and check it out. Looking first at the packaging, this is the Saga line, so that got you the blue card with the little starry background. Kind of the gold tone for the Star Wars logo, and same for the racetrack going around it. Of course, with that big blister, you get a very good look at the figure inside of there, along with the accessories being the lightsaber and this little force effect thing. And then at the bottom of the blister, you get a nice image. Well, it's all right, not that nice. It's a little blurry and stuff. So, but you do see Saesee Tiin kind of in action. What I believe is on Geonosis, but he wasn't fighting at night, so I don't know. It's a little confusing image anyways in that background. But then to the right of that, you got Attack of the Clones for the movie line that this figure's from, along with his name, Saesee Tiin, being a Jedi Master. Off to the left side of this blister, you got the number 20 Saesee Tiin, and that he's Collection 2. And on the other side, again, you got his name with a number, along with what's included, that being the lightsaber and the Force energy. And one thing to note is that this is the Episode 2 launch line of cards, if you will. It just did not actually have the movie line listed on the card itself, same as what we had with Last Jedi. Instead, the name of the movie of the figures that were released in this line was printed above the name here on that cardboard insert. Onto the back side of the card, I do like the way things look here. I like the slightly ghosted image of the figure that you see in the upper right side of the card. To the left of that, you got the Star Wars logo along with a little brief write-up about what's going on for Attack of the Clones. And then underneath that, you got his name, of course, Saesee Tiin. And then that 02 is the year of the release. It came out in 2002, and this was number 20 in the lineup for that time. And then, of course, you got a brief bio about Saesee Tiin. First set of 3 images here, you just see the figure as you can pose it, if you will, I guess, you know, with the force effect thing, without, turned around, whatever. And then along the bottom, you got a couple other figures highlighted in the line that were also available at the time. Looking at the figure out of the packaging, this is a fairly good looking figure. One thing that immediately stands out is this action-oriented pose. A good portion of the figures within the Saga line came with this type of pose instead of the usual upright standing, you know, pose that you usually see on the figures. I like the variety with this, especially as a longtime collector of these figures. A standard posed, you know, upright Saesee Tiin was released in the line that was prior to this, the Power of the Jedi line. So this certainly offered up a new look to the figure. Looking at the head sculpt of the figure, I like the way things look here. Seems pretty well represented for the sculpting of the head as what we saw in the movie. The horns coming out of the side of the face have a nice sculpting and some detailing in there that give it a nice look. I will say that I really don't like the look of this red wash over the head of the figure. Yes, he had a reddish or maybe a dark brown look on the head, but that was more on the top and the sides of the head, and certainly not on the face itself. So this part, I'm not too fond of how he looks. Otherwise, though, like I said, sculpting's looking good. I like the eye painting. That's looking pretty good there. And then as you look along the back side of his head, he's got these little, I don't know what they are, but little white and black things painted in there. At least that paint job's looking good. Everything's looking pretty nice and tight, not really sloppy or anything like that. As for the rest of the figure, of course, he does not have an outer robe, so all you're getting is your standard Jedi look without the robes, but still things are looking good. The cloth detailing is sculpted nicely. You have some nice wrinkles into the fabric molded in there, or plastic looking fabric, if you will. It's not really fabric, but you get what I'm saying. For that neck area, things are looking somewhat okay here, not entirely matching to the head. That is supposed to be his bare skin, not like an undershirt underneath the tunic or anything like that. At the arm area, things are looking pretty good. The sleeves from his tunic have a pretty nice drape to it, especially with the way the hands are sitting. You can definitely see a little bit of flow to the fabric in there. Hand painting, again, you know, probably still too much red, but otherwise pretty decent looking. Little bit of slop paint here and there, but certainly seen worse on figures. As for the belt area, things are looking pretty good there. Nice sculpting to it, nice sculpting on the pouches and those little side cylinder pieces. And for the bottom half of the figure, the brown parts from his Jedi tunic is not bad looking. Definitely, again, still a nice sculpt to help go with that action pose that he's got going on. Definitely nice wrinkling and some fabric texturing in there. You do get a little bit of glance of the pants that are sculpted underneath there. Nice paint job to the pants, although I'm guessing those are probably just the color of the molded plastic. The boots do have nice sculpting and detailing to them. A little bit of brown overspray here and there of the boots, though, going on to the pants. And here, once again, on this figure, the soles of the boots are also painted a different color. Now, as for the articulation of the figure, that head's just going to swivel side to side. No problem with range of motion there, though. At the shoulder area, both arms do swivel around and then hinge up, so you get a pretty good range of motion there. His left arm, though, has no other articulation through there. He's just stuck in that little pattern of holding his hand out. So no wrist, no hand, no elbow. His right arm, though, you do get the swiveling at the elbow, and that's all you got there. No other hinge movement. And then same thing at the hand, no wrist or anything articulated there. At the waist area, he's going to swivel all the way around, so no problem with that movement. And then at the leg area, you're just going to get a little bit of forward and back for both feet. Kind of just enough to help him stand into place, but, you know, that's all you got. You're not going to straighten the legs out anymore. There's nothing through there. No articulation at the feet. And that's pretty standard for the line at that time, as I recall. Now, as far as accessories, he does have two of them, and I'm holding the card here because the one that I have for the loose figure, for this little force effect thing, I've got packed away, so I don't have that out to show. But it's this little plasticky orange looking thing. It's got a very nice look to it. I don't know that that's painting or if that's just colored plastic in there or something, but it's got a nice look to it. And then if you can see in there, he's got a little notch in there that he can hold it in his left hand. And for his other accessory is his lightsaber. No Jedi would be complete without it. Green blade to it, plastic's looking really good. Towards the bottom edge of the lightsabers on this line, you did get like this little energy effect going on it. But as far as the hilt of the lightsaber, it's got a nice sculpting to it and a relatively decent paint job. Quite a few lines sculpted in there for towards the top end of the hilt. And then you got a little red knobs and stuff painted in there, but otherwise silver painting to the plastic. And you can take this blade out of the hilt, just kind of give it a little pop out there. One thing that's a little odd is that, you know, there's no peg out that you can snap this into his belt. The figure is sculpted where it seems that you should be able to attach the hilt in there, not that it would really fit anyways with his legs being bent up and stuff. So maybe there's just something else going on there that I'm not familiar with. Otherwise, though, the lightsaber does fit somewhat nicely into his right hand. The hand is opened up just a little bit too much, so the lightsaber kind of has a tendency to just bobble around in his hand a bit. So overall, this is an alright figure. I really just don't like the amount of red that's on the head of him. As I mentioned, I did like the use of the action pose to the figure, especially since this is a character we had received not long prior to this release. I will say, though, as a collector who keeps this on a shelf, I feel like the downfall of this, though, is this certainly took up some added space on the shelf, especially when you had it lined up with a bunch of other figures that also had this wide stance to it. But that's pretty nitpicky, and in the end, it is still a good figure. And so that wraps up this look at Jedi Master Saesee Tiin. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this figure in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.